It was. I wish he had his headphones on.
8698 again in Jordan.
Oh.
For sale out of Shakopee is a DeWalt radio.
Beautiful.
Plug-in or battery powered, and he's asking $50 for it.
Okay.
Call in Shakopee.
I know Chris.
952
This is Chris.
454 3866.
Is he having fun?
Put your headphones on.
454 3866. Again in Shakopee.
Okay.
What are you
Wanted out of Elko New Market. He's looking for a donkey.
Aren't we all?
New Market. 612
my!
719
My God!
6822.
This is what I want to
That's
do for a living.
719 6822.
Okay,
Again in Elko New Market.
Are you looking for a donkey?
Wanted out of Watertown. I should say wanted and for sale. First, the wanted looking for tractor suitcase weights.
What is
And then
that?
for sale is a
They hang
16-foot
on the front.
3-point Westco roll cultivator.
Oh.
Asking $400. Call in Watertown 612.
Did he say how wide?
Are we listening live to a
Oh, 6 foot, he said.
38.
Yep.
That's 612.
That would work in mine.
607 9138.
Okay.
Again in Watertown.
I have one, though.
Wanted out of New Prague. He is disabled and needs some help with yard work. Call
What
in
about
New
bathroom
Prague.
stuff?
2 numbers to
See,
call. First
this
number,
is, hold on, can you pause it?
758.
No, it's live. I'm just playing it.
So
live.
Ginny has a station in Wadena called KWAD, and I know the program director, and I made the mistake of telling him that it's been my career dream to do a swap meet show. And he goes, let's do it.
You should.
And he was serious.
Oh, that'd be fun.
And at the time I panicked. I'm like, no.
I'm
But
out.
the way things are going,
Can we
I'm
hear
starting
this?
to
Item
think.
for sale out of Waterville.
Here we
For
go.
sale is a 17-foot Sylvan fish and ski boat. Has a 90-horse Johnson outboard motor,
Yeah.
trolling motor, 2 batteries,
Yeah.
trailer with 3 new tires.
Whoa.
He's asking $3,900 firm.
That's cheap.
2 numbers in Watertown.
35.
First number 507 581.
Can you imagine calling in and putting your phone number out like this?
Second number 507
Well, there's 12
362
people listening to this thing.
4521.
We should call
Again,
him.
2 numbers in Watertown. First number again.
We've got one of these in
507
Alexandria, too,
581
on KXRA AM.
3862. And again,
There's
the
a lot
second
of these.
507
Oh, yeah.
362.
This is what they mean by
4521.
community
Again, in
radio.
Waterville.
Yeah.
And that will do it for this recap for this Friday, April 26th,
What do they call
2024 edition of the Trading Post.
Trading
Recaps
Post.
can be found online on Facebook and Twitter X at KCHK
See,
Radio.
my show is going to be called Swap Party.
God.
So the guy that you just heard, his name is Chris. He does a lot of town baseball games. He's a great dude. He's also a huge GLer.
When you go on Facebook
Chris, you're awesome.
Marketplace,
I'm going to text him right now.
can anybody answer this question?
Go ahead.
Get him on the phone so we can all talk to him off the air. Oh, it's 12 o'clock already. Damn it.
When you go on Facebook Marketplace, can you limit your search to just the region?
Well, yeah, it says it gives you the option of in local, but you always end up 600 miles away. You know, it does give you that option, but it's not trustworthy.
Is the quality of the stuff for sale a little better than Craigslist?
Yeah. And here's what you're going to find. The quality is better.
Porn sites you've been on.
Jesus Christ. The quality is better and the price is lower the farther you are away from you, the further you are away from your location. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the deal of a lifetime will be in the panhandle of Texas. The same thing in Minnesota will be $1,000 more. It's so irritating.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm looking for a lawn sweeper. Same units. One in Fergus Falls, $275. One in Brainerd, $150. Was that me? I think that was me.
I don't know.
Was that Chris?
I don't know.
I might have been Chris.
Oh, what's this? Did you FaceTime me, Kenny?
No, if I did, it was by accident.
Oh, okay. I just noticed I got a FaceTime here.
I'm putting that on YouTube today. the boys listen to the Trading Post on K-Check.
We should get him on the phone. I'd love to talk to him.
Oh, Chris would come on in a second. Well, the problem is,
Right now.
But this is his shift.
Oh, he's on the air.
He's working.
Well, tell him to throw on some Florian.
I
Would
need
you
a
rather-
donkey.
Put on Stairway to Heaven and give us a shot.
Make sure you use that I need a good donkey thing.
I need a donkey.
God, that was funny. We couldn't have set it up any better.
I know the timing is
Jesus.
perfect.
Thank you, Lord.
Such, do you need a donkey?
I don't.
Okay.
I need a donkey.
Call me now.
Anybody that has just one horse always needs a donkey.
Why
They
are we-
make great buddies.
Wait, why are we not doing
Really?
this?
And donkeys also will protect your herd from coyotes and other
That's true. Because they
angry
stomp.
varmints.
Don't they
Yeah.
stomp? Yeah.
Yeah, those donkeys aren't gonna stand for your S.
Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores.
Joe, kick it.
Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1296, April 26, 2024. 85 degrees on this day in 1970. 26 degrees on this day in 1950. Today is neither a garage door opener or much of a swimming day, but the swimming season will be here soon. Get a hold of the people at Aquaside. They've been just creating Great Lake shores for more than 60 years, keeping them free of weeds and algae, perfect swimming conditions. They make the products right there in White Bear. They're easy to use. They work quickly. They're registered with the EPA and DNR. Don't let weeds overtake your lake or pond this summer. Call Aquaside, explain what you think the problem is. They'll get you the right products. Call Aquaside at 1-800-328-9350 or go to aquaside.com. And it's courtesy of Aquaside. We have the ice outs, and there are none today. No ice outs on Minnetonka or White Bear. Quite a few over the weekend, but we don't do the weekend ones. We're nearing the end of the ice out season, but we're not done yet.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Sushiro.
Before the show, we were listening to a radio station that was doing a show called Trading Post.
Hey, let's give it proper respect. We were listening to the Trading Post station, KCHK, the flamethrower in New Prague.
K-check.
And
Yeah.
let me tell you something. I can't believe those things don't command bigger ratings, and I'll tell you why. Did you see how easily we all slipped into the anticipation of, okay, what's he going to say next?
What's next?
What's next?
What's the
You're
next item?
sitting there thinking, I'm going to hear something I have to have.
Joe, these shows are all over
No, I know.
AM radio stations across Minnesota.
The closer,
Alexandria
the
has
farther
one.
away you get from the
Yep.
tallest buildings.
What was Peter Fields?
Wadena.
Peter had one, didn't he?
But that was an official, the something auction, amazing auction.
Oh, yeah, because he would say, all right, I've got you down.
But Matthew, that was us selling clients goods.
Yeah, that wasn't
Oh,
a,
that was more so
that
than
wasn't
just a-
this. This was
Okay.
a guy
This guy-
selling a hay baler.
Well,
Well,
got a
no,
trike
this
in
was
there.
a guy that
Yeah.
was in
Yeah.
the Elko Newmarket area looking for a donkey.
He needs a donkey.
Right. I needed a donkey.
I need a
Yeah.
donkey.
Where am I gonna
Right.
get one.
Well, I don't have one. Otherwise, I'd call the guy.
I should say this too. I said this to the council off the air. The guy that does that show on K-Check, Chris, is a big time GLer. I know him. He's a good dude.
What's his name?
Chris.
Hi,
Chris.
Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Chris, I have some
blown.
ideas for you. They might be nefarious. Your management might not like them, but I think you should hook up with me and
Well,
we can talk. I'm going to give you this stuff for free.
And
my
I would
friend.
add, Chris, with these ideas and some more of your own imagination, you'll turn this thing into a blockbuster.
Yeah. He's a huge broadcaster for town baseball in the state of Minnesota.
I knew
Yeah,
you'd
he's-
throw somehow.
No, but he does. He
Somehow,
does a ton of
somehow,
games.
yeah.
Yep.
Joe,
Go ahead, John. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, Joe hit on something there when he said, if I had a donkey, I'd have called him. But what are your odds if you're looking for a donkey, if you advertise on that show that you're going to get one?
Call the station.
We got a donkey.
You can
Come on.
finally get rid of that damn donkey.
Someday, Joe, my career is going to take me to KWAD in Wadena.
I think it should.
That's where I want to end my days,
Yeah.
maybe starting next week.
Yeah.
That is not the first time that subject matter has come up here in Garage Logic.
Donkeys?
Right. Rook, you remember this, don't you?
Yeah, it was a good question.
What's a donkey punch?
I'll show you.
Well, that's a whole different.
Yeah,
That's when that
let's-
donkey kicks its legs out.
Right.
Yeah, just get on with the show, Joe. Let's just move along.
moving right
That's-
along.
That topic is
Got to
dead
get right
now.
behind him.
I think I'm going to bite the bullet and get a Facebook account, which I will not use for anything except I want to access the marketplace.
You'll end
Because
up
you're
using-
telling me that you think it's a grade higher or two
Here.
than, say, Craigslist, for example.
The guys that are smoking meth and doing crack and heroin said the same thing when they took their first puff of weed. It's going to lead to something more.
No,
but
I don't.
Yeah, I
don't.
agree with you.
I don't want anything.
You should try it. Absolutely. You'll love it.
It is no longer a secret. Not that it was, but it's on so many news sites, Fox, New York Post, many others, that George Soros is among those bankrolling the protesters. A nonprofit founded and funded by George Soros funneled an 8-figure sum into a prominent liberal super PAC that bankrolls several left-wing groups, according to records reviewed by Fox News Digital. Soros's Fund for Policy Reform poured $60 million into the Democracy PAC in the first quarter of this year, which then funneled millions of dollars into top Democratic committees benefiting House and Senate races, along with other liberal groups, FCC records posted. We also learned that Soros and his hard left acolytes, this is the New York Post, are paying agitators who are fueling the explosion of radical anti-Israel protests at colleges across the country. The protests, which began when students took over Columbia University's Morningside campus, have mushroomed nationwide. Copycat tent cities have been set up at colleges including Harvard, Yale, Berkeley, The Ohio State University, Emory, and Georgia, all of them organized by branches of the Soros-funded Students for Justice in Palestine. All right.
That's the group we brought up yesterday.
The SJP parent organization has been funded by a network of nonprofits, ultimately funded by, among others, Soros, the billionaire left-wing investor. All at 3 colleges, the protests are being encouraged by paid radicals who are fellows of a Soros-funded group called the U.S. Campaign for Palestinian Rights. The U.S. Campaign for Palestinian Rights provides up to $7,800 for its community-based fellows and between $2,800 and $3,600 for its campus-based fellows in return for spending 8 hours a week organizing campaigns led by Palestinian organizations. They are trained to rise up to revolution. The radical group received at least $300,000 from Soros's Open Society foundations since 2017, and also took in $355,000 from the Rockefeller Brothers Fund since 2019. Isn't that a fine how do you do?
Yeah.
I think that's the last page of that. We also know, just a moment. We also know that
It's worth looking up Open Society Foundation. I'll check into that.
We've gone down this road before. George is too old to take advantage of a collapsed economic system, which is apparently his specialty.
But his children are not.
Gets in there and collapses something, then buys it up and it all recovers, and then he makes his money.
Open Society Foundations is simply the name of George's organization. So, but you would describe him as a capitalist, would you not?
Well, he is.
So was he a capitalist before he was a commie, or was he a commie and he became a capitalist in order to fight capitalism?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Ilhan Omar. Could we have the Ilhan Omar update?
did not
theme?
know.
I think it's always
That's
necessary to precede Ilhan Omar news with the update theme.
Here is your latest Ilhan Omar report on Garage Logic.
Well, Ilhan was just recently here, right, encouraging the protests at the U of M. Now
we missed her.
she zipped back, probably on a fossil fuel airplane. She whisked back to appear with her daughter Hersey at an anti-Israel encampment set up at Columbia. Photos of the duo's appearance showed a smiling Omar standing alongside her daughter, who was stricken with hunger but now has been nourished, apparently.
Good.
As they interacted with other people participating in the demonstration on campus. Omar's arrival comes as several colleges and universities across the U.S. brace for what is yet to come, and more anti-Israel protests sweep the nation. Hersey announced last week that she had been suspended from Barnard for her involvement in the demonstrations at Columbia. Law enforcement sources confirmed that Hersey had been arrested and issued a summons for trespassing. Omar praised her daughter following the suspension, saying she was enormously proud of Hersey for standing against genocide. I really don't think this is genocide.
Yeah, we've got to stop with that narrative. We really do.
I don't think Israel is up to genocide. She has always led with courage and compassion, from organizing a statewide school walkout on the 20th anniversary of Columbine at the age of 15 to leading the biggest youth climate rally at our nation's capital at 16, and now pushing her school to stand against genocide. Stepping up to change what you can't tolerate is why we as a country have the right to speech, assembly, and petition enshrined in our Constitution. In other words, Omar, you have raised your daughter excellently to be a complete Marxist. Dozens of anti-Israel activists began demonstrating at Columbia, creating encampments. Omar, whose views of Israel have been repeatedly criticized in Congress, suggested Wednesday that the Gaza ceasefire encampments at Columbia are being co-opted and made to look bad by public officials and members of the media. I don't believe that, Omar. The media is pretty much on your side. Throughout history, protests were co-opted and made to look bad so police and public leaders would shut them down. That's what we're seeing now at Columbia, she said. The Columbia protesters have made clear their demands and want their school not to be complacent in the ongoing genocide in Gaza. There is no genocide in Gaza. There's a war. Yes.
I just looked up the definition to get the exact definition of genocide. The deliberate killing of a large number of people from a particular nation or ethnic group with the aim of destroying that nation or group. If anyone would be guilty of this, it's Hamas for starting this at the very beginning, correct?
This has been an old ploy that goes back to the beginning of time on how you engage somebody you want to engage. You blame them of malfeasance, and then you go in.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. And they went in, and now the genocide that they committed against the Jews, they're now calling the Jews, saying the Jews are committing. It's,
social media videos,
propaganda.
Social media videos from the anti-Israel demonstrations staged for days on the Columbia campus show activists cheering on the deaths of Israeli soldiers and showing support for Hamas. Even you, Hersey, will be slaughtered by them when you're done being useful to them. Jewish students have reported feeling unsafe and shared stories of being verbally and physically assaulted. They were pushing and shoving me. They threw rocks at my face. At that moment, my life was totally threatened, and there has been no safety or authority on campus, one student told NYN. We also know that Jamal Bowman, Corey Bush, Summer Lee, Ilhan Omar, the so-called squad, this is dated April 24th. This is from Alpha News by way of the Washington Free Beacon. Democratic reps Jamal Bowman, New York, Corey Bush, Missouri, Ilhan Omar, Minnesota, Summer Lee, Pennsylvania, posed for photos with a fundraiser last week who has spread anti-Semitic conspiracy theories and founded a Facebook group where Hamas terrorists are praised.
For what?
The far left squad members appeared alongside Maher Abdel Kader at an April Arab American Heritage and Culture Month ceremony hosted by the Arab America Foundation and moderated by Democratic Michigan Representative Rashida Tlaib, who the other day I might have naively cut too much slack to. The Democrats' coziness with Abdel Kader comes despite his record of spreading anti-Semitic conspiracy theories and Holocaust denial. He once shared a video that described Jews as satanic. Abdel Kader also is the founder and administrator of a Facebook group called Palestinian American Congress, where members have posted anti-Semitic content and cheered Hamas terrorists. Abdel Kader added Tlaib to the group in Feb 2018. As of November 2023, Tlaib was still listed as a member. An October 12 post in the Facebook group read, "We don't want to throw you in the sea. We want you to ride it back from where you came," accompanied by a photo of a Hamas terrorist with an elderly Israeli hostage. Another post a week later commended the achievements of the resistance fighters after they killed Israeli soldiers. The squad members' decisions to pose for pictures with Abdel Kader came as many faced tight primary races against pro-Israel candidates. Abdel Kader served as Tlaib's finance committee chair during her first congressional bid in 2018 and has donated thousands of dollars to her campaign. Tlaib publicly thanked him for his help multiple times during her 2018 campaign. In November, he advertised a fundraiser for Summer Lee and Tlaib, whom he said wholeheartedly support the just cause for Palestine. Well, which is different than supporting Hamas. Lee, who is facing Pittsburgh Borough Councilwoman Bhavini Patel on Tuesday, joined Bowman and Bush in equally condemning Iran and Israel after Iran's unprecedented attack on the Jewish state in April. Okay, we must oppose all violent escalations right now. I condemn Iran's retaliatory strikes on Israel and Israel's strike on the Iranian consulate. This is Summer Lee, who's trying to save her chance to win a spot, huh? Bowman, who blamed Israel's blockade of Gaza for October 7, finds himself 17 points behind Westchester County Executive George Latimer. Not our George Latimer.
Oh, I was going to say.
Must be a common name in New York, huh? They're out east.
I guess.
That's where George came from, you know.
I did know that.
Local rabbis encouraged Latimer to run, citing Bowman's hostility towards the Jewish state in the wake of the October 7 attack. The two-term congressman has accused Israel of mass murder, genocide, and ethnic cleansing. I don't believe that. Bowman last week, let me get who Bowman is again. A squad member, right? I'm going to get it because I need to know this stuff.
I have many questions about
The squad.
everything you've read so far.
Ooh, Jamal Bowman of New York. Jamal Bowman of New York, a squad member. Bowman last week rallied to the defense of Omar's daughter, Hersey, who was suspended. And apparently now Hersey has also called for an indefinite occupation of school property. Corey Bush faces a prosecuting attorney in St. Louis, Wesley Bell. Bush has repeatedly accused Israel of committing genocide. Well, it's not genocide. The St. Louis congresswoman was one of just 2 House members who voted against a January bill that barred terrorists who participated in the October 7 attack from entering the U.S. So she was one of 2 who did not vote to bar terrorists from coming to this country, because she said that would target immigrants and incite anti-Palestinian hate. A coalition of Jewish organizations accused Bush of fanning the flames of anti-Semitism and showing little outrage against the horrendous attacks. Representative Bush has shown little outrage against the horrendous attacks by an organization whose very charter calls for the killing of all Jewish people. Well, that's genocide. Tlaib in April refused to condemn chants of death to America and death to Israel from protesters in her district, instead accusing the media of using racist tropes. Bowman, Bush, Lee, Omar, Tlaib, and Abdel Kader did not respond to questions.
They were busy, I bet.
At what point will they be charged with some sort of crime? I know it's not sedition. I've looked it up. But it does seem like the squad is working against the best interests of the United States security. It seems like they're hopping in bed with the enemy. Palestine, we do not recognize the state of Palestine in the U.S., although we do recognize the PLO, which is odd to me. We don't offer any consulate or any kind of embassy in Palestine. And they're not specifically an enemy, but boy, when you hear death to America, it kind of puts you in a frame of mind thinking, well, that's the enemy, and we need to stop these people.
Well, I'm going to answer your question. They won't be arrested. They won't be arrested.
What would they have to do in order to be reprimanded, arrested, removed, whatever? Shut down, I guess, would be the general.
Right now, in the country, I don't know what they'd have to do.
But where's if you are not with me, then you are against me?
Why? What this has become, well, it's been so since the beginning of this, is another red versus blue state issue. Because if you look around the country and you see how different campuses in red states handle the protests compared to how the protests are handled in the blue state, it's completely opposite. Everything that happens now, including this, most of all, is a political us versus them issue.
The naivete is astonishing. It's just astonishing.
At the base of all my questions are why would you be in support of death to America, the end of the United States? Why are you supporting Palestine? They want to kill us.
They portray Hamas as some sort of saintly characters. I got news for you, kids, on the campus at Columbia. They'll kill you as soon as look at you.
The Palestinian, the everyday go-to-work Palestinian people are even being abused by their leaders.
In fact,
I mean, they're setting up military camps and hospitals.
In fact, Kelsey sent this note, courtesy of our friends at the Babylon Bee. Hamas wants to thank college student supporters by promising them a quick death during.
Well, that's it exactly.
Which
it's not
satire,
funny. It's the truth.
But it's the truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you helped us? Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Don't worry, we won't drag you behind our
break your
pickups and then
knees
rape you and then
Put your
beat
head on
you
a
with your
post.
severed limbs. Yeah.
You're probably going